Coming up on Mountain News this morning, today marks the beginning of Crash Responder Safety Week as officials promote staying aware while on the road. Plus, one organization is promoting painting to help treat mental illness.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. Happy Monday. My name is Amelia Lee. Today's date is November 18th. And the time is just about 5 o'clock. It's also time to check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmal for a look at your forecast this morning. And Megan, last week, I feel like it was so cold when I got out of the house. But today, maybe it's because I had kind of a hectic morning, but I was hot. I was a little bit hot.
Yeah, this morning's definitely not going to be as cool as we saw last week. Last week we saw those temperatures, in the early and mid to 40s. Oh my goodness, it was so cold. But today we're looking at most of the areas in the 50s, some places in that mid 40 range, but we're not going to see those 30s this morning. I believe it was Tuesday. We had some cities right at that freezing mark. I think Wise was at 32, but this morning Wise is at 43, so a lot warmer of a morning. But those high temperatures for today will be in the upper 60s. We have some places potentially hitting that 70-degree mark today. And as we continue to go throughout the rest of the day, you won't be seeing a drop of rain as we're looking nice and cloudy on the satellite and radar this morning. And again, that trend is just going to continue. We do have chances for rain as we go into tomorrow. But as we're going through the next couple hours, there you can see there's some breaks of the clouds around that 1 p.m. hour. But for the most part, nice and cloudy skies throughout the week. And I'll have that ARH 7-day forecast in just a couple of minutes. Amelia?
All right, Megan, thank you. A study is underway designed to address critical gaps in our knowledge of heart and lung disorders in rural counties throughout the southeastern U.S., including 2 counties in our region. On tonight's Issues and Answers, WYMT's Steve Hensley talks about the study with Dr. Stephanie Boone, an associate professor with the University of Louisville School of Public Health and Information Sciences.
So the Rural Heart and Lung Study is really focused on trying to address critical gaps in the knowledge of rural South and Mississippi Delta and Appalachian areas in terms of the health of these populations. And so we know that the prevalence of heart disease in Kentucky specifically is about 6.1% compared to about 3.8% in the U.S. And it's a leading cause of death in the U.S. and in Kentucky. Followed by cancer. We also have a higher cancer mortality, about 171 per 100,000 compared to 146 persons per 100,000 in the U.S. And so what we're trying to understand is whether or not there are certain factors that may relate to higher incidence and mortality of certain diseases like cardiovascular disease and lung disorders.
And this is not just in Kentucky, there's some other states involved, right?
Yes, so this is a multi-state study. It's in Mississippi, 2 counties in Mississippi, 2 counties in Alabama, 2 parishes in Louisiana, 4 counties in Kentucky. So 8 counties and 2 parishes across 4 southeastern United States.
And it's Perry and Breathitt in our area.
Yes.
Any reason why these particular counties were picked?
That's a great question. So we were looking at the mortality rates at the county level. And so by looking at these rates, we noticed within certain counties of the United States that they had higher than normal or higher than the average mortality rate for these diseases, heart and lung diseases. We also looked at other counties that have lower rates but have similar socioeconomic profiles. And we began to wonder about the variation in these incidence and mortality rates and why, with similar socioeconomic profiles, there may be some communities that are less resilient than others.
You can learn more about the study and how you can participate tonight at 7 on Issues and Answers right here on WYMT. Governor Beshear marked today as the start of Crash Responder Safety Week. Motorists on Kentucky's roadways are reminded to follow the state's law. Slow down, move over. It's an important reminder to keep an eye out for any stopped vehicles to help protect first responders and other drivers. The new law says that drivers have to move over to a different lane if there is an emergency responder or other vehicle on the side of the road with lights flashing.
Green, red, orange, or blue. That can be construction, tow trucks. It can be a variety of vehicles that would be needing you to get over so they can perform their task.
The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet reports that in the last 3 years, there have been 1,000 collisions, 380 injuries, and 7 deaths in the state involving emergency vehicles responding to an incident. A Lexington organization is teaching the community about how art can benefit your health. Lex Arts held an Arts and Health Symposium on Saturday. It touched on different topics that combine creativity with healing. One of the main topics was the benefit of art therapy for those with cognitive impairments and how art can heal us after disaster strikes. Speakers shared how art can help people express their emotions, which can help with both physical and mental well-being.
I think that's a really great avenue to express yourself and even just to get out and partake in the arts helps with mental health and makes you feel a little less alone in the world.
Lex Arts Vice President says they plan on hosting similar events throughout 2025. Decision fatigue. It's the mental exhaustion that we experience from making many decisions in one day. It can lead to poor decision making or difficulty making choices. Dr. Susan Albers with Cleveland Clinic says fatigue can also lead to procrastination, avoiding conflict, feeling paralyzed, emotional fog, and impulsive decisions. She says one of the most important things you can do is get a good night's rest.
The number one cause of decision fatigue is being sleep deprived. Studies have shown that we struggle to make decisions when we are overly tired or feeling fatigued. The best defense and way to buffer yourself from decision fatigue is to get a good night's sleep.
You heard it there, folks. Dr. Albers also advises to not be afraid to delegate decisions. Thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Coming up, there are more picks and more controversy in the next wave of cabinet appointments from President-elect Donald Trump.
And our much warmer temperatures today won't be lasting for too long as we have colder air coming. I'll have that answer in a couple minutes.